What is up, peeps? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the Respawn Recap. A new face, Hey, dude, people hate you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the blonde, but I don't know what it is. But people are sometimes not about it.
We have a new face here for Respawn Recap. We hope you guys all enjoy it. Ready to kick it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get it started. And one of the more somber stories this past week, we saw good old timthetatman almost in tears on stream talking about himself as well as, I believe, other streamers potentially taking breaks for themselves, both mentally, physically, and in his case, taking time for his family. And man, I'll tell you, seeing Timmy in tears almost made me want to cry.
I mean, it was honestly just so touching, just seeing him like getting all up and emotional about the whole thing and just like wiping his
response
eyes.
was like, whoo!
Like he snap it away, snap it away.
Like he obviously didn't want to cry out there, but it's also really nice to see him kind of reassuring not only his own breaks probably upcoming in the future, it does also make you think why he is making this statement. Does he have a big deal in the pipeline that might give him some free time from streaming as well? I guess we await timthetatman's announcement. 100 Thieves fans are crossing their fingers.
In Rainbow Six, we also had some people that got a little more than what they paid for because they actually didn't pay for any cheats. Instead, they paid a little bit extra this time when some hackers took over their computers for Bitcoin mining.
I've honestly never really heard too much of a story like this. I want to think back to the Counter-Strike days of ESCA. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. In case you guys missed Hunter's video, yes, there are people out there who paid for cheats, got a bit more than they wanted because the cheater or the cheat maker all of a sudden posted a Discord message to which they all find out there's no cheats, but we're going to use your computers to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah, and they pretty much told them like, hey, there's nothing you can do about it either. It's like, whether you like it or not, you can try to uninstall it, turn off your computer, but we're going to use your computer one way or another.
I just love how casual he was like, yeah, we're going broke, so we need more than your subscription. We need to also mine Bitcoin through you. And what better time? You know, it's at one of its highest points of all time. So we will see what happens to all of those cheaters out there, and we'll see if all the cheat makers start using them to mine Bitcoin. And one of the bigger deals we have seen in quite some time, I would say, in my opinion, all right, don't rail me, guys, one of the bigger streamer deals we have seen since the mixer deals for Ninja and Shroud, not quite monetarily, but in terms of crossover, NICKMERCS now partnering with Barstool, and particularly Barstool Sportsbook, a gigantic deal this past week.
I feel like we kind of saw it coming for a while because, I mean, if you just read his Twitter and, like, watch his streams, I mean, he is all about NFL and sports and everything like that. So I think we could see it coming a little bit.
Yeah, I think certainly a lot of his fans, a lot of timthetatman, Dr. Disrespect fans seeing the deals coming their way as well. It's been really cool to see. You know, NICKMERCS has brought some gigantic deals just in the past week with Cash App, and now this one, especially ever since his NFL Combine days and Fortnite, you know, streaming from there as well. He's always brought athletes on, and that crossover will continue. The latest one might be a guy like Max Holloway, UFC, also tied to sports betting. I think we're all kind of wondering where this does lead. Maybe a few years from now, will it not just be sports betting, but esports betting? A lot of possible moves out there coming from some big streamers like NICKMERCS. And this next one was Hunter's story. Man, we've given you some tough ones, and I would say this is probably the most terrifying story we've had in quite some time, that involving a female streamer, Jadey, and I've not seen many stories like this one.
Yeah, I think it was pretty terrifying overall, seeing someone essentially threaten her and her family to flash a stream without, you know, any warning and just calling on her phone pretending to be her dad. I mean, that's just horrifying overall.
Yeah, and I know we saw a lot of the joking side of this. I know you took your video very, very seriously. To kind of take a lighthearted note, yes, it's terrifying. Luckily, everyone is okay. And then you think about the motive behind all of this. Just to have a streamer flash you. Like, we can all tell you, there's plenty of ways to go and find those kind of things, but jokes aside, obviously, I cannot imagine picking up a phone that you think is your own father, and all of a sudden it's someone else saying they're going to kill your father. Put yourselves in those shoes, and it's a god-awful story. I encourage you guys to go watch the full video. Luckily, Jade and her father are okay, but the issues like this with streaming, they do continue, sadly. And we bounced off one of your most terrifying stories with one of the ones that I thought was actually very hard to watch as well. That being 100 Thieves member Tommy, not just a Warzone player and a Warzone pro, but the biggest exposure without a Call of Duty anti-cheat, which is going to be a big discussion in the coming weeks with some recent accusations as well. He actually took the time this past week to expose someone with decent amount of winnings, an established history, but also an established history of accusations in Warzone. And the young kid has now also been interviewed and admitted to cheating in his past as well. It's been a real haymaker of a story to try and cover.
I think just watching Tommy go through the process of like just going through all of the footage, I was pretty impressed, to be perfectly honest. Just seeing that detail, the level of detail that he went through to expose this was insane to me.
Yeah, and then of course after 4 to 5 hours of clips and the streamer being accused, saying he would come back and try and, you know, prove people wrong, then he hops on a short interview, admits to cheating in his past, but not in the current accusations. It's a real whirlwind for Tommy to be in, where all of a sudden he is the Warzone and Call of Duty anti-cheat, and there's no official way to prove it. It just puts him in a really tough spot, and you can imagine what he's going through.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to be hard. We talked about that earlier. It's got to be hard as a kid, essentially a 19-year-old, you know, a young person going through all of this public scrutiny and like what his career is going to look like going forward.
I mean, if there will be a career as well, we talked about with your R6 cheating story. When you do these cheats, you probably don't realize, okay, my PC might be used to mine Bitcoin. Just like for this kid, you probably don't realize, oh, Tommy's going to call me out in front of the entire community. Does he have a chance to come back in the future? We will wait and see. As per usual, we hope you guys all enjoy the Respawn recap and the new face over here. Feel free to leave some comments down below about this guy, you know, who you like more. I would love some re-encouragement for the day.
Absolutely not. I mean, you don't have to say anything if you don't want to, but I mean, you can.
Anyway, we will see you guys back here next week with the Respawn recap. Hope you guys all enjoy. Take care, gamers.